Hello everyone, I'm Rick Janzen. Welcome to my tutorial. Because I do a fair bit of my fly fishing on saltwater beaches, I occasionally get asked how my gear holds up to the saltwater environment. Admittedly, it is a lot harsher on your gear than freshwater. With the salt in the water, the sunlight, the suspended particulates in the water, that can be abrasive. It can be quite hard on rods, reels, waders, and lines. With the materials that many of these pieces of equipment are made of today, there is a lot less maintenance than there was in the days of cane rods and silk lines. However, that doesn't mean no maintenance. With a few minutes at home each time you've been on the salt water, you can look after your gear in such a way that it will last you your lifetime. So here's a few pointers I've put together to ensure you get decades of use out of all your gear.
First, you want to spray off your waders and boots with fresh water when you get home. This may go without saying, but I'm surprised at how many people don't do it. With your boots, you want to pay special attention to any metal eyelets or guides for your laces, as these will corrode very quickly if left untreated. And a little spraying with fresh water goes a long way to making sure your boots last you for years. These are looking a little worn, but I've had these boots for over 10 years and they're still very serviceable. So make sure you give your boots and your waders a good rinsing off when you get home, and you should get years of service out of them.
When I get home, I would like to take the reel off my rod and then take the spool out and rinse the housing, axle, and reel and line separately with fresh water in a sink. Then I'll set the two pieces apart to dry separately so that there's no chance of them seizing together. And then there's a second stage to this treatment, which I'll show you in the next clip. When the reel is dry, I will take a piece of paper towel and give the spindle or axle in the middle a good rub. That will take off any soil or corrosion that may have built up their surface corrosion and give it a nice clean surface for it to work on next time. In addition to that, I will give the spindle or axle one drop of synthetic lubricant, and which I will then rub onto the surface of the spindle. This will help prevent future corrosion and also give me very smooth operation when I get into a really big brute of a coho next time. When it comes to lubricants, a lot of guys will recommend this Sportsman's Kit lubricant and the grease and light oil that comes in there. I would too. These are available at most tackle shops, and they're not very expensive. You can get them in there. They last a long time. I have, on the other hand, used 3-in-1 oil to good effect for over 30 years with no ill effects to my reel, my line, or any of my other equipment. Again, I'm using just a drop, and I put that on the spindle and pop the reel hub in there, and I'm good to go for this next trip. Finally, there's your fly line, a very important piece of your equipment. In freshwater, you can get away with cleaning it once a season, depending on how much you fish. But in the saltwater, I'm having to clean it multiple times per season. The cleaner I use is also a lubricant. I highly recommend going with this Glide. It's from Umpqua, and it comes with the lubricant and cleaner in a bottle and a sandwich box that helps you run your line through it. You see the hole in the side there that you run your line through. So you need to open the box. See if I can get the right side of the box open. Here. Managed to do that. There we go. Okay. Now we've got the box open and we see the slots in there for the line to run through. And all I do is I put a little of the lubricant cleaner on the felt pad where it lines up with the notches. Just a little squirt will do. Okay. Then you take the end of your line and lay it in the box across the notches, through the notches, like so. I'm getting it up to the beginning, just give myself enough room to work with here. There's the end of my fly line. I'll close it up, and what that does is it sandwiches the line in there with the felt pads and the lubricant, and you run it through. And I like to run it through in one direction and then run it back again, but you can get away with just running it through once. Usually, that's just me, that's being a bit fussy. And this does a great job of lubricating your line and cleaning it. Again, in saltwater, I would do it multiple times per season, probably every 2 or 3 trips out, to get the suspended particulates off the line and to lubricate it to ease your casting. That should take care of looking after all of your main equipment when you're fishing in the saltwater.
So there you have it. A few simple steps to look after your gear. While you're rinsing down your waders and boots, you might give that rod a little shot of water, fresh water too. It won't hurt it. At today's prices and with inflation, you certainly don't want to be losing gear to having reels seize up or lines deteriorate or boots to fall out of use before their time. A little bit of fresh water, a little maintenance at home will go a long ways to making sure that your equipment lasts decades. Take care. I hope to see you on the water.